Joker issue 6. Yeah, it's a shame going back to Gillen March, but you know what you're going to do. Luckily, the story is still really solid and doing a lot of cool stuff. This is an issue that kind of takes stock again of where we are and everything that's going on, but it does do a little bit of explaining. So there's been kind of this mysterious family who have been hunting Joker along with the Bane chick and the others that are coming after him. And this finally explains this. And I compared it to Texas Chainsaw because there was hints of the family that felt very Texas Chainsaw-esque. And sure enough, this flashback at the start shows that they are cannibals. It is very Texas Chainsaw. In fact, one of them even is holding a chainsaw in the flashback. Although it's not the big dumb one who is more the Leatherface adjacent. You know, because you know there's the other one who's like yelling at him and barking orders, and so there's definitely parallels to like them. But there's a victim that they're chasing after who they want to eat, and they want to bring her back, and she gets away, and they're chasing after her. And the one twist on the story here that's separate from Texas Chainsaw is that when they're hunting down this victim who gets away, they actually find some oil on their land and they become rich. Like, you know, it cuts to present day, and we see like a framed newspaper. The Samson family finds millions in their own backyard, and even the uncle's referred to as Uncle Sawyer, and Sawyer is one of the names that is used in Texas Chainsaw. So it's not hiding its influence, shall we say. Basically, the brother, because the brother and sister got sent out to track down Joker. The brother got injured in the last issue, the last present day issue, so he's now getting a mask. They mention that hold on, what was the line? Yeah, so I got him a mask like Uncle Billy used to have. Isn't that nice? So yeah, there's an implication that the big dumb guy was their Leatherface and had a mask. This isn't a Leatherface mask though. This is like a black glass mask with a yellow symbol in the front. So it's very different, but you know, they can't get sued with this one, is my thinking. So yeah, it sets up that they're still coming after Joker. They're hunting them down. So Gordon's in Paris, and he talks a lot in his narration about how he promised his first wife Barbara that they were going to go to Paris for their honeymoon, but there was a murder that was unsolved, and he thought that the boys at the station in Chicago were going to just like take a payoff, and like some innocent kid from the wrong side of town was going to get blamed for it, so he insisted on staying, and they never went, and he still kind of feels guilty about that. He gets into a fight with some local thugs. He talks about how he feels out of place at the hotel because he goes to a really expensive hotel. Because again, you know, his benefactor's paying for all this, so he feels out of place. He talks about how he always felt out of place when he was commissioner, and he'd be invited to the high society balls as commissioner, and they always kind of like smirked at him in a way where it was like, "Hey, you're a guest here, but you're not one of us. You're here because of your position." But yeah, he calls Babs and ask for some updates. She's going to like put some of her people onto some of the the various threads that he's uncovered. They're looking for Joker. Talks about how this Lady Bane's really suspicious. It's kind of weird that Santa Prisca was able to sort of basically create a new Bane out of this person, right. And they're curious about how that actually works, and she's worried about that. She wants him to have more tech on him so she can survey him, and she's like, "Hey, I don't want you like following me the whole time." But yeah, she comes up with this plan. She's like, "Hey, Cressida's not really done anything. She's been really boring. I'm also concerned she's following me." But she says that in kind of code. I won't really get into the specifics of that. But says, "Hey, what if we kind of lure her out by you saying you have to travel with the private jet somewhere, and hopefully she'll make a move." And he's like, "Okay, like we'll give him the night to figure out, where I'm going next." So, kind of neat. But basically, Gordon's decided that he needs to call in some of his own people. So he calls Bullock, who's been trying to set up his own PI firm, and says, "Hey, I want to hire you." And he's like, "Wait, what? You want to hire me? I mean, I don't know. Like, I kind of need these first few cases to pay a lot of money." And Gordon's like, "Hey, it just so happens that I have been funded for this. I'll pay you double whatever fee you were thinking of charging per day." And he's like, "Yeah, all right." So he basically has him look into this, Texas Chainsaw family, because basically all of the online stuff has been erased. Like this family's paid everyone off to get rid of. The girl who escaped, it looked like she was paid off to accuse just the sort of big dumb brother. Which I you know, the important detail there is he's the one who got moved to Arkham Asylum and died in A-Day, which is why they're after the Joker. So that explains a lot of that backstory. A lot of this is them sort of reassessing the case and who are these various parties that are chasing after it. Obviously, the woman from Santa Prisca is clearly because Bane died. That was always fairly obvious, although there's still some more details to learn about who she is exactly. Right. But as he's on the phone to Bullock, he hangs up and some French police show up. I think Interpol specifically. And they're like, hey, we're taking you in because his fingerprints showed up at a murder scene. And he's like, that effing clown. Because the last time we saw Joker, Gordon was tied up and Joker like sort of left him alone to play the game. But yeah, he obviously had his fingerprints and has put his fingerprints all over a murder scene that Joker's at a lab somewhere. And basically says, okay, well, let's go. We have to go somewhere. And the final page is just Joker watching from a rooftop. This is clearly something he's intentionally set up. So we don't know what he's up to. So this is very much a setup issue, but I actually really like them like establishing more details about who all these other characters are who are chasing Joker. Because it's really building a supporting cast, it's really building like all of these things moving at the same time. Still digging the relationship between Barbara and Gordon. At one point, Barbara says that she's going to have to like send one of her friends in person to like help her hack the Pentagon so she can get in, because she said that once Oracle's like existence was made public again, all of the security like industries and like spy organizations around the world all like tripled the security like online, so she's going to have to break into the Pentagon with someone in person. And Gordon's just like, I don't think I should be hearing about this. Like, he doesn't want to know about it. He's like, no. But so them working together and him knowing she's Oracle is still really interesting to play with. So still digging it. Gillen Marchart is Gillen Marchart. I'm not going to spend too much time on it.
Do nothing about that.
Obviously, it's a shame because that flashback issue last time was so good. But the main story is still fun, and it's still a Gordon book. Joker's in one panel. He's in one panel. This is a Jim Gordon book, and it is a really well told story. So I'm going to give this issue a 7.5. I'm just not going higher because of the art. But knowing that annual's coming up with the Frank Avila art is really exciting. So I'm pleased by that. So this is a solid issue in the run. The backup though, which is basically Harper gets herself thrown in prison because she wants to try. So the character who I didn't really know about at the end of the last issue and the backup, which I complained about, it turns out she's like a witness who can like testify or give evidence for Punchline. So Harper wants to get into the prison to go find her, and basically tries to like not get noticed by Punchline. Punchline immediately says, "Hey, you newbie, come over here." And she's like, does she know who I am? Is she playing dumb? Has she made me? And that mystery goes on for a couple of pages. But then she flat out reveals, do you really think I wouldn't notice those like crappy like added tattoos that you don't actually have? I know who you are. I know who your brother is. And it becomes this kind of moment where a fight breaks out. Harper goes running to try and find this girl that she's looking for. Harper had someone record this on her cell phone, and it looks quite bad because it looks like Harper attacked her. So this is going to be used to, it's going to be spread online to make Harper look like she's been attacked in the prison, that she is a good prisoner who's playing by the rules, and that other people are trying to kill her. The final page is her brother and his like sort of new friend / boyfriend, who is saying, "Hey, look at this on TV, or look at this on my phone. Like, she's been attacked by people. This is crappy. We have to do something about this. Like, she's innocent and she's been attacked by people." And he says bad people. And I'm not like I think the implication is he probably recognizes his sister in this moment, and that's kind of the cliffhanger. So it's better than last issue. It was easier to follow this backup. I still like the art very much, and like I like it for having more Harper stories, but it does feel a little bit less interesting in the main story. Like, I'm really into the Gordon stuff. I'm really into Barbara. I'm really into all these other characters hunting the Joker. The backup feels a little bit ancillary at this point. Because it's a Patreon book, I'm going to keep reading it because it's a Patreon book, so I should read the whole thing. If it wasn't a Patreon book, I'd probably just not read the backup. But whatever. It's okay. It's like a 6. Well, 5.5.
There you go.
It's okay.